This platform, called Focal Online TV Daily Edition of Inside the Print Media, does not encourage any form of dialogue between the viewers and the presenters.
Oh, you mean nobody calling there?
No, you can't call on a show. Let me talking out like when we're no calling there. So all you can do is you will listen to the news, and they can also encourage you to buy the newspaper to listen to the news in details.
But do you do viewer recognition at times?
Oh yes, we do viewer recognition. When you are watching, we notify you, and sometimes we even appreciate you on a show, telling you thank you for always following us. We also encourage you to share the live stream, because the more you share the live stream, we transform and we transition ourselves as a broadcast team as well.
Wow. So when can I better get this program you are talking about?
This program is here every Monday to Friday at 10 a.m. to 10:45. The program runs for 45 minutes.
Wow.
And guess what?
Wow.
We bring you hot stories of our trending situation within our country, Liberia. Imagine hearing stories from Hot Pepper newspaper, from the Daily Observer newspaper, from Front Page Africa. Are you a lover of Front Page Africa?
Oh yes, I'm a lover of
Front Page Africa, and the Women Voices, and a lot more. Not forgetting international news, BBC,
wow.
CNN, ABC News. So we bring you headlines from those standpoints.
Wow, that is very, very, very amazing.
So we say, join us every day on the daily edition of Inside the Print Media at 10 a.m. with the headlines of top stories in our country and the world at large on Focal Online TV.
Good morning, fellow Liberians. It's always a pleasure to be here to bring you the program Inside the Print Media. My name is K. Lyndon Toba, and the time check in studio is exactly 10 a.m. this morning. It is actually a wet Tuesday morning. A lot of the people are being caught up in this particular situation. Most of the people who were actually en route to their respective workplaces have been caught up as the result of this terrible and heavy downpour of rain this morning. So I'm very much excited to be here to inform you about what is taking place in our country, Liberia. So this morning we have with us varieties of newspaper. We have Front Page Africa newspaper, we have the Hot Pepper newspaper, we have the New Dawn newspaper, and we have the Daily Observer newspaper. So let's run over to the Daily Observer newspaper. Stan urges President Bouakai to dismiss CSA director. Stan urges President Bouakai to dismiss CSA director. Why should Josiah Jokai, who is the CSA director, should be dismissed? Let's read the content. Amid concern of misconduct and threat to free expression, the Solidarity and Trust for a New Day, a prominent civil society organization in Liberia, is urging President Joseph Boakai to take decisive action by dismissing the Director General of the Civil Service Agency, Mr. Jokai, whom they accuse of derelictions of duties and fostering an atmosphere of chaos and lawlessness within the agency. Stan expressed grave concern over Jokai's action, which they believe are detrimental to Liberia's peace and stability, diverting attention away from the core mission of the government. Established in 1973, the CSA plays a critical role in managing Liberia's civil service workforce, including career development, recruitment, and training. However, Stan contends that Jokai has undermined these objectives by turning the agency into a platform for monitoring social media activities rather than focusing on its primary responsibilities. It is absolutely disappointing that Mr. Jokai, who abandoned the essential work entrusted to him and reduced the country's civil service to a social media police force, where citizens post and comments determine their employment status, Stan asserted in their press release. The organization emphasized that This shift represents a dangerous decline in public service standards and calls on President Bouaka to intervene immediately to safeguard the CSA independence. Stem further warned that Jokar's inflammatory rhetoric and recent decision jeopardize not only the agency integrity, but also Liberia's progress, peace, and stability. Adding to their concerns, Stem pointed to a report that Jokar has instructed government officials to dismiss civil servants who criticized the president's office. The group described these actions as unlawful and a direct assault on Liberia's democratic principle. Dismissing civil servants for expressing personal views or criticism violate their constitutional right to free speech and expression, Stem declared. In an August 19 circular, the CSA Director General described the Civil Service Agency as the custodian of integrity of the civil service. According to him, a troubling rise in the use of this disrespectful and derogatory and unfounded remarks directed at superiors and subordinates, both in the workspace or various social media, mainstream media platforms, has become increasingly concerning. Such behavior, the CSA Director General said, violates Chapter 4, Section 2.1 and 2.2 of the Standing Order of the Civil Service and Personnel Handbook of various government spending entities. He added that Chapter 9, Section 2 of the Code of Conduct for Public Servants are contained in the Human Rights Resources Policy Manual. Revised charges of a civil servant should act professional at all times, shall exhibit good conduct at all times, both work and on and off their duties. Jokaya therefore declared that the civil service engaging in such unbecoming conduct will be subject to disciplinary action per the standing orders and other relevant personnel guidelines and regulations governing their respective entities. However, Stem insists that such action marks a troubling drive towards a authoritarianism where dissent is silenced and freedom of expression is stifled. Liberia has endured too much to return to a dark era when individuals were intimidated or even killed for exercising their right to free expression. Stem warned, vowing to resist any effort that threatened to reverse the nation's hard-won democratic gains. Stem called on President Bouaka to rein in officials like Josiah, whose reckless behavior they claim is tarnishing the image of the presidency. Why the organization denounced insult directed at the president's, particularly one of Bouaka's esteemed statue, they expressed the need for differentiate between baseless insults and legitimate and constructive criticism. Stem fully support every citizen's right to provide constructive feedback on government policy. The group noted, we are firmly opposed to the growing use of profanity and insult, which have become prevalent over the last 6 years and hinder meaningful national dialogue. However, Stem made it clear that penalizing civil servants for political disagreement or critiques of government policy constitutes an abuse of power and is contrary to the principles of good governance that President Bouaka has pledged to uphold. The group suggested that Jokai's actions reflect politically motivated purges within the civil service, calling into question his loyalty to the nation and its citizens. The CSA mandate is to serve the people of Liberia with impartiality and integrity. Stem reminded Jokai and any other politically motivated dismissals undermine the mandate, eroding public trust in government. Stem urged President Bouaka to address the situation swiftly, warning that the current state of the affairs poses a serious threat to Liberia's progress. They also called on President Bouaka to ensure that civil servants who were unjustly dismissed receive proper redress. Failing to act, the group warned, could further fuel the perception that the president condones such reckless behavior. In a bid to mobilize support, Stem has invited all unlawfully dismissed civil service agency and government employees to a major consultative meeting scheduled for next week. The organization plans to use the information gathered to bolster their case as they formally present their concern to President Bouaka. With this being said, this is how we move over to another headlines on the Daily Observer newspaper. Ambassador Turner Commission News Peace Corps volunteer. Ambassador Turner Commission's new Peace Corps volunteer. Let's give you these headlines, or this content rather. United States Ambassador to Liberia, Mark C. Turner, on August 14, administered the oath of office to 7 new Peace Corps volunteers. This event marks a milestone in the enduring partnership between the United States and the people of Liberia as Peace Corps continues to rebuild its program in Liberia. The newest cohort of Peace Corps volunteers continue a long-standing American traditions of volunteerism by answering the call for public service. They have spent 11 weeks undergoing intensive training during which they have acquired the essential knowledge, cultural, and technical skills needed to make a meaningful impact in the communities where they will serve. The new volunteers will be posted throughout the country, focusing on the areas of education, health, where the needs are great and the opportunity to positively contribute are many. These are new volunteers who become a part of a long legacy of Americans and Liberians working together to achieve progress and build friendship. Since 1926, when the Peace Corps began operations in Liberia, over 4,000 volunteers have served in villages and towns throughout the country across many facets of Liberia's development efforts, including education, agriculture, rural development, and health. Their service symbolizes the ongoing vitality of U.S.-Liberia bilateral cooperations and American commitment to service that continues to drive positive change in Liberia and around the globe. With this being said, this is how we move over strictly to the Front Page Africa newspaper. What is the Front Page Africa newspaper reporting this morning? What is the Front Page Africa newspaper reporting this morning? We are hoping that we can get our hands on it. Our Front Page Africa newspaper is reporting LTA board chair reportedly offering hefty settlement to suspended commissioner for resignation. Some already agreed. LTA board chairperson reportedly offering hefty settlements to suspended commissioner for resignation. Some already agreed. And this story is written by Gerald Koinen, the editor-in-chief of Front Page Africa. And on this paper, you have Patrick Honda, you have Abdullah Kamara, and some of the commissioners who are currently with, including the dismissed commissioner as well. Then they say coerce him to resign. That is what this paper is asking. In April of this year, President Bouaka suspended the board of commissioners of the Liberia Telecommunication Authority due to allegations of questionable financial transactions and other malpractices at the authority. This decision came just one day after the Supreme Court ruled in favor of the commissioner chairperson, Madam Ewinam C. Zakpa, and Commissioner Israel Akinsaya, Zoto 1D Tattles, James Bowie, and Osborne K. Dix. Despite widespread criticism, the president upheld the decision. A statement from the executive management announcing that the suspension stated that President Bouaka had requested a comprehensive audit at the LTA by the General Auditing Commission to investigate the allegation. The president urged the suspended official to fully cooperate with the GSC during the investigation, expressing confidence that the audit could uncover any financial impropriety and help identify corrective measures to prevent future occurrences. While the findings of the GSC audits are still pending, Front Page Africa has learned that the current board of commissioners of the LTA, led by Abdullah Kamarat and supported by executive, is offering attractive financial settlements to the suspended commissioner to encourage their resignation. As part of the settlement, the suspended commissioner have been assured that they will not face any investigation following the release of the GSE audit. Some have reportedly agreed to these terms. A leaked check obtained by Front Page Africa has revealed that the acting management of the LTA disbursed $25,000 on August 16, 2024 to former Commissioner James Bowen, who resigned while on a suspension. This discovery coincides with the resignation of former LTA Commissioner James Bowen and Osborne Dix. President Bouaka subsequently accepted their resignation and expressed gratitude for their service to the country. In a separate letter, the former commissioner thanked the president for their leadership and pledged their continued commitment to Liberia's progress. They also assured that they could obstruct the president's constitutional authority. They could not obstruct the president's constitutional authority in any way and could maintain the highest standards of integrity and cooperation. In response to an inquiry from Front Page Africa, Israel Akinsanya, one of the suspended LTA commissioners, confirmed that he was asked to resign but refused. I have been approached by the acting chair to resign. I have refused to resign as there is no defined exit package consistent with my benefits and salaries for my unexpired term. Besides, there is an ongoing GSE audit which I have been cooperating with. Until the outcomes are known, I see no reason to resign. Kinsaya further clarified that he has not been offered any settlement and remains a suspended commissioner of the LTA. But Awina Zakpai, the suspended chairperson of the LTA, is yet to respond to FPA inquiry. However, sources close to her reveal that she has resigned following numerous threats and persistent demand of her step down. Prior to her resignation, the source said Madam Zakpai was reportedly accused of opposing President unless she resigned. However, her resignation is yet to be accepted by President Bouaka, the source added. Front Page Africa reached out to acting chairperson of the LTA Board of Commissioner Abdullah Kamara on Sunday requesting information about a $25,000 disbursement. Kamara promised to consult with a fellow commissioner before responding and asked FPA to deliver its inquiry in a hard copy to his office on Monday. Thanks, but kindly send a hard copy to the office tomorrow morning. Meanwhile, I have just read you are requesting a response tonight, which in my view is a tight time frame considering the nature of our organization requires consultation with other board members on certain matters. Nevertheless, I will consult with my colleagues and revert later today. Thanks, Kamara stated. Meanwhile, critics argue that pressuring officials suspended by President Bouaka over corruption allegations to resign undermines the president's anti-corruption effort. Anoussi Miami, the executive director of Center for Transparency and Accountability, criticized the resignation of officials who could potentially face prosecution if implicated in the GAC report. With this being said, this is how we begin to acknowledge all of our esteemed followers who are following us this morning by the medium of live television. Norrin Shedrack following from Chocolate City, Eric Palo Collins following, Samuel P. Bumble Jr. and following from Banga City, Bong County, and the long list of other people who are following this conversation as well, listening to us by the medium of the radio. So let's go over to another headlines reported within the Front Page Africa newspaper. Two injured during protests over borough's governor takeover. Two injured during protests over borough governor's takeover. Let's give you this particular content. Two persons have been severely injured as a result of a violent incident which characterized the first day in office of the embattled governor of the borough of New Kutan, Robert Thier. Mr. Thier was appointed to the position by President Joseph Nima Boakat in April and subsequently confirmed by the Liberian Senate. But there have been claims and counterclaims surrounding his appointment by the Liberian leader. Some areas of the 8th nominating district have been claiming that the president's action to appoint Mr. Thier to the position ran contrary to the 1916 Act, which created the borough. According to them, the Act gives them the authority to select and nominate an individual for the governorship. However, the executive mansion has consistently claimed that the new Local Governance Act of Liberia gave the president the right to nominate governors to the borough. Despite the hulu battle surrounding his appointment, Mr. Thier was commissioned into office along with several other commissioners and chiefs by the superintendents of Montserrado County at the ceremony held at the Monrovia City Hall last Friday. His first day in office on Monday, August 19, became observable when a group of aggrieved areas from the 8th nominating district stormed the town hall to meet with him. According to eyewitnesses, the areas were reportedly prevented from seeing the governor in large number by armed officers of the Liberian National Police assigned there. They later requested that one of the officers that a representative should be elected among them to speak with the governor. However, the situation turned violent when a group of young people who accompanied the elder disagreed and began throwing stones at the building houses, housing the town hall and the office of Governor Thier. The incident led to 2 persons, including a journalist working for OKFM 99.5 in Monrovia, sustaining deep cuts on their heads. The victims include journalist Maurice Woleti and other Ella James Tutuman. So far, no one has been arrested in connection with the incident. The young people who came here with areas were demanding that the police open the door for them to enter and see the governor. But because they were plenty, the police people said no. So some of them went at the back of the building and the people started throwing stones all over the building, and eyewitnesses stated. Speaking in an interview with Front Page Africa shortly after the incident, Governor Thier questioned the rationale behind the elders and other opposing his preference. He accused the former acting governor of the borough, Wole Kofi, of inciting those he called grown-up boys, street boys, to throw stones while he was in office. He bragged of collectively working with residents of the borough, including Representative Dixon Sibu. But the president appoints someone who should stop the president's appointment. You just have to work with the presidents, and I have been working with everybody, including the women elders and the youth. So whoever is beyond this, I want to appeal to them for us to work together. I am in my office, and you can see this is the town hall and the office of the governor. I am not embarrassed that everybody is working with me. There are over 80,000 inhabitants of the borough who are happy to see, and they are coming to congratulate me. So I am calling on the few people that are out there, and let's work together. Governor Thier, however, expressed the hope that his appointment could not be opposed by his kinsmen and other residents of the borough. He disclosed that though the salary of a governor is not sufficient, he accepted the appointment from the president to serve his people. I have worked in this borough when I was not a governor or representative. This governor job is small for me. I just want to serve my people. I'm willing to work with everybody and will work with everybody. We will say sorry to those who have been injured. Those few people who think that it is not them, it shouldn't be anybody, should calm down, because I am in the interest of the people. But the president's appointing me as the governor, it means that the borough is safe and it has been rescued. So with this being said, this is how we will entertain a short break. When we come back, we'll fill you in with development regarding the Hot Pepper newspaper and that of the New Dawn newspaper.
Hello there, my name is K. Lyndon Toba. I'm in search of a platform where I can get credible information of our daily happenings in Liberia and the world at large.
Hello, K. Lyndon Toba. My name is Greg Courage Pa. Haven't you heard about Focal Online TV?
You say Focal Online TV?
Focal Online TV is located within a Tobo village community along the Japanese highway.
Tell me more about the platform.
This platform, called Focal Online TV Daily Edition of Inside the Print Media, does not encourage any form of dialogue between the viewers and the presenters.
Oh, you mean nobody calling there?
No, you can't call on a show. Let me talking out like when we're no calling there. So all you can do is you will listen to the news, and they can also encourage you to buy the newspaper to listen to the news in details.
But do you do viewer recognition at times?
Oh yes, we do viewer recognition. When you are watching, we notify you, and sometimes we even appreciate you on a show, telling you thank you for always following us. We also encourage you to share the live stream, because the more you share the live stream, we transform and we transition ourselves as a broadcast team as well.
Wow. So when can I better get this program you are talking about?
This program is aired every Monday to Friday at 10 a.m. to 10:45. The program runs for 45 minutes.
Wow.
And guess what?
Wow.
We bring you hot stories of our trending situation within our country, Liberia. Imagine hearing stories from Hot Pepper newspaper, from the Daily Observer newspaper, from Front Page Africa. Are you a lover of Front Page Africa?
Oh yes, I'm a lover of
Front Page Africa, and the Women Voices, and a lot more. Not forgetting international news, BBC,
wow.
CNN, ABC News. We bring you headlines from those standpoints.
Wow, that is very, very, very amazing.
So we say, join us every day on the daily edition of Inside the Print Media at 10 a.m. with the headlines of top stories in our country and the world at large on Focal.
All right, welcome back, folks. It is always good to be here. Thanks to all of you who are listening to this presentation relative to the program Inside the Print Media. Inside the Print Media is your informative news program where we fill you in with every other major developments that is taking place in the print media in Liberia. So the Hot Pepper newspaper is reporting this morning, Kula Fofana office flooded with corruption. Kula Fofana, who is the presidential press secretary, it is Hot Pepper newspaper is reporting that her office is flooded with corruption. The balance, who comes with equity but comes with clean hand. We should have banned President Joseph Boakar's reliance to fight corruptions in Liberia is said to be a fiasco, as the office of Press Secretary Kula Fofana is in alleged corruption ocean. Only witches are being hunted. We are not afraid of anyone. God will protect us. President Boakar said when former President George M. Weah accused his administration of witch hunting former officials of the Congress of Democratic Change government. If you are with us with hidden agenda, and we will find it out. When I fire you, you will not come back. President Boakar's terrifying statement is to guide his cabinet minister to work morally so that his administration can use clean hands to fight corruption. But Press Secretary Fofana is allegedly an obstacle to his plan fulfillment. Press Secretary Fofana, who is accused of not being savvy to media relations was recommended by Senate Pro Tempore Yombly Kanga Lawrence based on the party's mandate. According to reliable sources at the Ministry of State, a huge amount has allegedly given to Press Secretary Fofana to appreciate the service of the assigned journalists at the executive mansion, but she allegedly personalized it. To cover up, sometime in this year, Fofana assembled a brevet of assigned reporters and allegedly forced them to sign a financial form which did not benefit them. Some of them rejected her cover-up plan by not signing the money, and we did not receive from executive mansion reporter alleged. According to Insider, Press Secretary Fofana received money on behalf of office staffers and journalists assigned there, but allegedly pockets it. She can't change her bad working relationship and corrupt practice because she feels she has contact. Angry reporters informed the Hot Pepper newspaper. However, the press secretary is accused of being money-driven and materialistic, denied reporter access to the president and their due benefits since she took office. During the president's cabinet meeting, reporter went there at 9 a.m. and left from there at 10 p.m., allegedly starving. An insider revealed that she has allegedly signed for financial benefit on behalf of reporters in her office, but she again allegedly pocketed the reporters' entitled benefits. Some of the reporters who have always see her as a moral official took use of an August 9, 2024 on the premises of the Liberia Petroleum Refining Company, LPRC. According to reporters who covered the groundbreaking ceremony of the Liberia Petroleum Refining Company's 17,000 cubic meter tanker, Press Secretary for Finance stood dead and journalists conducted an interview with the managing director, Amos Tuwe, and after the interview, Director Tuwe allegedly told Kula Fofana to recommend some to follow him so that he could fund transportation for the executive mansion reporters. Within no time, she allegedly recommended her special aide Covet, who is accused of being a novice to media relations, according to the report. We watched Covet coming outside with a huge amount of US in her hand and entered the bus, the reporter who covered the event alleged. She sat down mute playing with her phone without telling anybody how much she received on their behalf. We saw the executive mansion press director Sam Zor telling us to write our names on a sheet without telling us how much the LPRC boss gave. Press Secretary Kula Fofana also remained mute on the amount. The reporter attended another program at the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf Ministerial Complex and finally the Friday press briefing at the executive mansion the same date. After the briefing, Lovett was allegedly quizzed by one of the press secretary Fofana office staffers, and the person quoted her as saying, "The boss says the money is for her." As usual, when reporters go on the beat and get transportation, it is announced and disbursed amount of those money are being distributed among the assigned reporters. The amount in question is not disclosed by Kula Fofana and or A until investigation revealed that it was allegedly 3,000, which manager director Tuwe gave, and Kula allegedly pocketed it. However, during the dedication of a newly constructed court in Rivers, says Kula did not invite executive mansion reporter. Those who went forced their way in, and she allegedly pocketed the money given to her who forced their way there. I regretted when I went there. Kula was there, and she did not tell anyone. As we went there, the same way they came back, angry reporters who forced their way there protested. Consequently, to avoid engaging Press Secretary Kula Fofana without resort, the executive mansion reporter have resolved to avoid her and declare persona non grata until President Bouaka finds a press secretary who is amicable and savvy to media relations. This is what the Hot Pepper newspaper is reporting. With this being said, this is how we will sum up with our news presentation for today. My name is K. Lyndon Toba, and I serve as the presenter on today's edition of the program Inside the Print Media.
Hello dear, my name is K. Lyndon Toba. I'm in search of a platform where I can get credible information of our daily happenings in Liberia and the world at large.
Hello, K. Lyndon Toba. My name is Grefina Korishpa. Haven't you heard about Focal Online TV?
You say Focal Online TV?
Focal Online TV is located within a Tobo village community along the Japanese highway.
Tell me more about the platform.
This platform, called Focal Online TV Daily Edition of Inside the Print Media, does not encourage any form of dialogue between the viewers and the presenters.
Oh, you mean nobody calling there?
No, you can't call on a show. Let me talking out like when we're no calling there. So all you can do is you will listen to the news, and they can also encourage you to buy the newspaper to listen to the news in details.
But do you do viewer recognition at times?
Oh yes, we do viewer recognition. When you are watching, we notify you, and sometimes we even appreciate you on the show, telling you thank you for always following us. We also encourage you to share the live stream, because the more you share the live stream, we transform and we transition ourselves as a broadcast team as well.
Wow. So when can I better get this program you are talking about?
This program is aired every Monday to Friday at 10 a.m. to 10:45. The program runs for 45 minutes.
Wow.
And guess what?
What?
We bring you hot stories of our trending situation within our country, Liberia. Imagine hearing stories from Hot Pepper newspaper, from the Daily Observer newspaper, from Front Page Africa. Are you a lover of Front Page Africa?
Oh yes, I'm a lover of
Front Page Africa, and the Women Voices, and a lot more. Not forgetting international news, BBC,
Wow.
CNN, ABC News. We bring you headlines from those standpoints.
Wow, that is very, very, very amazing.
So we say, join us every day on the daily edition of Inside the Print Media at 10 a.m. with the headlines of top stories in our country and the world at large on Focal Online TV.